This is going to be a short presentation on discussion rubrics that we'll be using to evaluate your discussion posts for the class. When you receive your grade, you go to your grade book to see how you did it on a particular assignment. So you push the grade book button, and then you get this screen, and generally this will show you the score that you got. And in this case, I'm using the student view, so this should look pretty much like your when you go into the grade book. And what we're looking at is the week 1 discussion. And we're going to be looking at the view rubric button. Okay, that will allow us then to see what the criterion is. This is new, so this is built into the class, and what it's represented here is the individual categories that I look at in terms of your post, whether it's thorough, whether it's conceptual, whether it uses creative and critical thinking. And then under each of those categories there are 4 different levels. It could be poor, it could be fair, it could be good, it could be excellent. Now let me just back up a little bit and say, well, we have used rubrics before. They haven't been visible to you, but we have used rubrics in grading. What's different here, and we have used the same categories of criterion, what's different here is each of the levels for each criterion includes a description that says what you need to do to achieve that particular level. So as an example, if I look at your post and I'm trying to judge is it thorough enough, I'll be looking at it from an excellent to a poor category. Does the post substantial? Does it detail support generalizations? Does it insightful, thorough, include applications of the course concepts to the real world experiences and examples? Does the posting demonstrate thorough understanding of the assignment and is substantiated with 2, 3, or more scholarly sources, one of which can be the course textbook? That would work as an excellent post, but even within the excellent category you could receive between 27% to 30% of that particular post. Those would all be considered excellent or A grades, but there will be a range within the excellent category. If I don't think your post achieves the excellent level because of the criterion there, then we can see whether it fits the good category, which means the posting includes some thoroughness, including insufficient but no examples with understanding of the assignment. Okay, so it's thorough but doesn't elaborate on things, doesn't provide examples. In the fair category, the posting includes very little thoroughness, the course concepts, little thoroughness of the discussions. And then finally in the poor, the posting includes very little to no thoroughness of the assignment. So generally, when I look at a post, I'm mentally going through the process of evaluating which one of these categories does it fit into, and even within that category, is it really excellent to the top of that rank, or is it somewhere in the middle, or is it the low end of the rank? The final category or criterion is the quality of the writing, where here we're looking for spelling, grammar, APA format. In this case, the sample student got a excellent because the quality of the writing was very good. It was error-free, all the spelling was correct, the grammar was correct, the punctuation was correct, the postings were polished, they looked professional, free of errors in mechanics, and it's APA compliant. And you can see down at the bottom, I wrote as a teacher, the evaluator, that the feedback was great spelling. So the nice thing about this new technique is it allows you to be able to see what I thought of each one of these categories, how I rated it, and what kind of feedback I gave in each specific area. Then down at the bottom, you'll see that this particular student turned in their post late, so although they had a 41.3 in terms of the assignment, because the posting was late, there's an automatic deduction of 10 points from that. So the eventual score that they got was a 31.3 out of 100.
Ay, caramba!
Another way to look at the rubric is to push the list view, and it's the same information, just presented in a different format. You may find this easier than the grid format, but you can flip back and forth to check it out. So what does this all mean to you? Well, it's actually a fairly useful tool to both of us. The idea of using rubrics is not new. If you have been involved in the education field, you know that rubric is a standard tool of education. If you haven't been in education as a teacher, rubric may seem like a little puzzle that you play with to try to get all the colors to line up. But we've been using them for a long time, just in some cases they weren't visible to the student. The main criterion in the discussion rubrics, the thoroughness, conceptual, creative thinking, critical thinking, and quality of writing we've been using before, so there's nothing new there. What is different is the verbal description, which attempts to lay out specifically what is entailed at each level of achievement. So what an excellent thoroughness would constitute, what you would have to have, what an excellent conceptual would require. That part is new. It's also new that this is going to be showing up inside your grade book so that you can see the criterion and how it was evaluated. So, as you are sitting down to write your discussion post, you should look at the rubric and make sure, as you're beginning to think of posting it, does it cover the criterion? Where does it rank in terms of thoroughness? Is it conceptual? Have you applied creative and critical thinking to it? What's the quality of the writing? And now you can use the specific descriptions of what's required at each level to evaluate your own work before you turn it in, before I get to see it. And this should be a huge benefit both to you and to me as we try to improve the quality of our discussion posts as well as our papers. So if this raises any questions or you have some issues with it, you know how to get in touch with me. I hope we can work with this, and you'll find it a useful tool in your bag of tricks to improve your communication skills.